When did it all start? What happened to the video game companies? I don't know how long it's been since a major game came out and it was finished. Every AAA game that comes out seems to be broken, empty, uninteresting, or a repeat of last year's game. How many people played Days Gone? Yeah, I didn't think so. It should be said, there are games that come out finished. However, those are not AAA games most of the time. I don't know if any of your parents ever said this, but do you remember when your parents used to call you back to finish cleaning when it was not clean all the way? My mom would tell me, your boss will not pay you for a half-finished job. Well, apparently, that was a lie. Obviously, you can do half the work and get full payment. I should say that people who work in game design and on video games are underpaid and overworked in the game industry. It's not their fault games keep coming out in the state that they are. I mean, it is, but it isn't. Management often pushes out games before they're ready. This can be seen with the release of games like Fallout 76, No Man's Sky, Anthem, Marvel's Avengers, Cyberpunk, etc. In Cyberpunk, which was pushed back 2 or 3 times, I'm not really sure, don't quote me on that, and had a broken release. The game was so broken, Sony had to pull it off the PlayStation Store because they kept giving out refunds. Madden and FIFA have been the same sports game since 2012, it feels like. There is little to no variety between last year's Madden and the following year's Madden. I can buy Madden 15, and it could have all the features of Madden 20 with 1 or 2 missing elements. No Man's Sky came out empty and had false advertisement claims against the company. COD is the same old COD. I would not say it's the same game year after year like sports games, but it does lack a variety. I would give COD the benefit of the doubt because they tried something new and people ate them alive for it. They went back to their roots and people still didn't like them. COD is in a lose-lose situation. Change the game, people get mad. Go back to what you did before, people get mad. COD is COD, and it deserves its own video. COD needs to disappear like Assassin's Creed. That franchise left for a few years and returned innovated with people's support behind it. Look at Assassin's Creed Origins' success, a game pretty much everyone likes and praise. COD recycles a lot of features and maps from older better games. They put Raid in Cold War to get people to play it, and they recycle Nuketown ever since it came out. Summit, Firing Range, and Jungle are from Black Ops 1. Modern Warfare recycled Crash and Vacant. All these maps are from older, more appreciative games from the fanbase. Every year the maps in COD get lower and become more accustomed to new players who hide and wait for kills instead of going out into gunfights and learning how to play the game. World War II had 9 maps on launch. There are 10 base maps for Modern Warfare and 8 for Cold War. The video game culture is changing. People are enabling these countries who are producing uninteresting and sometimes broken games. Every time someone buys a game like this, they're filling the pockets of the business that owns it. I think a lot of people forget there is a business behind this. A business's purpose is to make a profit. Unfortunately, management in these businesses do not care about the customers. The industry sees a model that is profitable and keeps it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Not every company's management will take advantage of customers. This must be said. There are tons of good games released in a complete and finished state. Still, we're not here to talk about those games. Well, except for maybe PlayStation exclusives. PlayStation exclusives are the only trustworthy games to spend 60 plus on. Even when Sony puts out games players aren't too fond of, such as The Last of Us 2, they still sell well. The Last of Us 2 is a controversial game and received judgment before the game was released. Many players feel a certain way about the game, with most of the emotions surrounding it being negative. I will not get into that because there are 1,000 videos that explain the controversy behind the game. People will not see the problem because part of the problem starts with them. People don't like change if it means changing themselves in the process. A culture shift will require people to change. Future generation of players will believe this is how video games should be. It is, after all, how it was when they were children. How I think games should be released stemmed from my own childhood, when games were released on day one with everything in the game. No loot boxes, no 200 gigabyte updates, no new patch every week. Everything had to be finished on the release date. There were no loot boxes or battle pass. If you wanted a skin, you can pay $3 for it or unlock it with in-game currency. Nowadays, it's $20+ for one skin, as seen in games such as Fortnite, Apex, and I'm sure Warzone. I don't play COD much, but I did play Modern Warfare 2019, and the cheapest bundle of COD points is $10, so the cheapest skin you can get would be $10 or close to 1,000 COD points. Battle passes are limited time events that often cost $10. The problem with battle passes is that they are limited timed events. I personally do not have the time to grind out my battle pass, or I'm not invested in the game enough to even buy a battle pass. With the new era of battle passes, the standard way is fading. By standard way, I mean the default way before battle passes, where you can play the game and unlock everything. And going back to not having enough time or not being invested in the game, a lot of people, well, since the pandemic, a lot of people are home. But even before that, a lot of people had to work. They didn't have time to put in as many hours as needed to grind out that battle pass. With the new era of battle passes, the standard way is fading. By standard way, I mean the default before battle passes, where you can play a game and unlock everything. There are games still like this, however. The end-game items you unlock are oftentimes half-assed in design, and all the cool stuff you want is in the battle pass. Black Ops 4's battle pass was horrendous. It had 200 levels, which is double the normal amount, and took 8-hour grinds every day to complete. I might be exaggerating a bit, but if you've seen or played Black Ops 4 Battle Pass, you know what I'm talking about. The new players that fill and fund the market are the new generation of gamers. They are the future, and how video games, and anything else in any other field for that matter, are marketed to them is how they will be. Bungie has lost support with a new transmog system. A transmog system is changing the look of an armor to look like a different armor while having the stats of the better armor. If you don't know what I'm talking about, and if you played For Honor, you can change your good armor to look like a different piece of armor while keeping the stats of the better armor. EA, Blizzard, and Activision could come out tomorrow and say no more loot boxes, have the community rejoice, and build a strong relationship with them. They won't do that because they make billions of dollars from them. Just like the cows on a farm being milked, that's how gamers are viewed by these companies, as cattle, only there for a profit. Your wallets are slaves to giant corporations. They're like your girlfriend eating off your plate when she has one. The only way to change the culture is to change the culture for the better. People need to realize they are being cheated out of their money. I used to love to play video games. I would get excited when a new game would come out. Now I don't care when new games come out. If Sony's name's not on it, odds are I will not spend 60 plus on it. I'm not a Sony fanboy either. I own PS4 and an Xbox One. Microsoft exclusives aren't anything to get excited over. There are good games, I don't deny that, there are. But the majority of them aren't worth playing. What did I do when I stopped playing video games? Well, I stopped paying for video games. I stopped giving them my money. I stopped spending $60 on Call of Duty to stop playing after 3 months because the game was stale. I didn't waste $60 when Cyberpunk came out because I knew to wait for the reviews. I learned to wait 3 to 4 months after the game is released to give it a try. To wait until it was on sale to buy. You can insert any game in Cyberpunk's place. I use them as an example, being the most recent semi-failure. I say that because, although the game came out broken and unplayable for most console players, it made over $600 million. The only way to get change in the industry is to stop buying the games that underperform. Wait for the prominent reviewers to test the game for you. Let them be the ones that's spending their money on it. You don't have to spend your money on these games. You won't have to buy the game.